Hey, hello everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director, David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, public safety and what's being done to keep you safe. We'll discuss what Ward 6 is doing to keep public safety a top priority. And of course, joining us is none other than the Ward 6 Councilwoman, Nancy Brune. Welcome to the program.
Hi.
We've got some special guests coming on today.
We do. Very special guests.
And a first, the first guest you're going to meet. But you know Ward 6, that's your stomping ground. For those of you out there not exactly sure where Ward 6 is located, well, don't worry, we're going to go ahead and show you on the map. Basically the top of the Las Vegas Valley. If you live in that area or work in that area with the 6 on it, then of course you are in Ward 6. And if you're a resident out there, you're represented on the City Council by none other than Nancy Brune. And Councilwoman, you know, the city recently welcomed 2 new members to our public safety team.
Yes.
Canine officers named Scarlett and Wilbur. And joining Councilwoman Brune and me now are Scarlett, who is with her handler, Sergeant Jeff Belcher. Sergeant Belcher, Scarlett, welcome to the program. We've never had a pooch on the show before, so this is a big thing.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.
Great to have you here. Sergeant, tell us what Scarlett's main tasks are as part of our Department of Public Safety.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Scarlett's an explosive and firearm detection dog, so that's her main discipline. Obviously, her role is to just be a full force multiplier for us out there and provide another degree of public safety. We typically work on Fremont Street Experience. We're based out of the substation that's down there. So you'll see us down there doing walks routinely, and we're also available to the rest of the department and other departments in the valley as well if something comes about that requires her needs.
Yeah, and so her specific task is she can sniff for explosives and firearms both?
That is correct, yes. So obviously there's a number of different explosive odors that she's trained on. One of the things being smokeless powder. Now, we don't talk too much about all the explosives and the type of odors and different stuff, but smokeless powder is pretty much the most common one. Any dog that's going to be trained for explosives is going to be for that one, and all that is gunpowder. So when you have the firearm enhancement to be able to detect those, basically just their threshold to detect the smokeless powder is lowered down. So, you know, she can detect as small as just a regular 9mm unfired cartridge. So her threshold is just lowered down enough so she can pick up on those small, minute odors.
Sergeant Belcher, tell us about Scarlett and Wilbur. Both come from the same place. I think it's Auburn University in Alabama, where these dogs are specifically trained for this mission, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's actually pretty amazing. So Auburn University has a, it's kind of one of the things they're known for is their canine performance research lab, I think is what it was. But they've been breeding these dogs for about 25 years, I want to say. I don't want to quote it, but I think that's what my research recalls. So they basically take the best of the best from, you know, the different litters, and they continue to breed them specifically for the purposes of detection. You know, they also use them for research as well. So they'll, you know, the various different researches obviously over the 25 years, but they will, you know, something as simple as if a canine is trained to detect like TNT, for example, domestic made TNT, you know, will it be able to detect that same TNT from another, you know, from overseas?
Yeah, so from another country, right?
Different research projects like that. But they're very, you know, their bloodlines are very good. Their prey drive is very high. So, you know, that's what you see when she gets her ball, which is her reward, and she goes crazy for it. So
you're a good girl, Scarlett. Yes, you are. Jeff, what kind of dog is she exactly?
She's a black lab.
Black lab, just the standard black lab. Yeah.
Black lab. Yeah.
How has she been performing? How long has she been on the job now?
So we got back at the beginning of April, and she's been out there shortly after that. So just a couple months now. There's been various things that we've been called out for. Fortunately, you know, nothing located. And in this business, I mean, that's success, right?
That's good news.
We don't find anything.
Will she be asked to participate in F1 or be part of the security team for F1 or for our next Super Bowl or big events like that?
Most likely, yes. Like you mentioned with Wilbur, this is a partnership with Las Vegas Fire Rescue, the bomb squad. They have her counterpart Wilbur, and so that's exactly what we're here for, is those kind of big venues, and in between those, then we just basically provide a public safety service to to the citizens and the visitors that are coming down to our city.
Well, certainly that extra layer of security that you can add in this day and age, that's just it's just peace of mind for everyone. So, and we're going to have a couple of your colleagues coming on here in our next segment, but they're going to talk about Fremont Street and a lot of the things that we're doing down there to keep that tourist corridor safe. Has Scarlett been part of that effort down there? Does she make? Do you take her down as part of that team, or how does that work, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually stationed out of the substation that's down there, and I run a patrol squad, Fremont Patrol Squad as well. So we're down there, 4 days a week, and then if anything comes up, obviously available to come out and respond to that. But at least 4 days a week, you'll see us down there, and walk her pretty much at least every night. She'll go down there once or twice a night.
Good.
Training is a big thing, maintaining her, her training and keeping up on all the odors. So I spend a considerable amount of time with that. So I usually try to get her out every day and do a little something. So she just always stays engaged and she's always looking.
Well, she came to my bocaditos last month. It was a wonderful surprise. She was a hit of the coffee. She made the rounds and said hi to everyone.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, it was so well behaved.
Jeff, I want to ask you, I know obviously her training has been extensive, but how about you? Were you a handler before this, or did you have to go through the training and kind of learn all this, so training the dog and training the human too?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I am definitely a dog lover. I've had dogs my whole life, so I definitely have the passion for it, which I think is very important when you are a canine handler. But no formal training prior to this. So I spent 6 weeks out in Alabama going through canine handler school. So it was pretty intense. Every day out there doing work with the dogs, learning leash control, learning about the health and wellness of the dogs, how to check them. Learning about the psychology behind it too. The psychology about how the dogs work and
what motivates them.
What drives them. So.
Does she have a special food that she likes that motivates her? Treat?
So she's not food. She's not food driven. She's not rewarded on food. She does have a special food that she eats. It's just really a high calorie diet because she's a working dog and she's always out here and and
got a lot of energy.
Always, yeah. So it takes a lot of calories to keep her going. But she's ball driven. So she's her reward is
getting to play with that ball.
Getting to play with the ball, and that just really capitalizes on their prey drive. That's part of the thing when they're bred for this, is how high their prey drive is, and keep going on it.
Jeff, we're just about out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye to you and Scarlett?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. We love getting her out here and showing her off. She's getting a little antsy in her pantsies here, but
she's like, I gotta get back to work.
Right.
Well, a nice perk of the job is that Sergeant Belcher gets to take her home at night.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
She lives with you and your family, right?
That is true. Yep, absolutely. So she gets to go home and enjoy the house.
All right. Well, Jeff Belcher, thank you so much. Sergeant with our Department of Public Safety. Great work. Councilwoman, we're going to take a short break here. Still to come, we continue our conversation on public safety. We'll discuss the new Metro substation that Jeff alluded to at Fremont Street right after this.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
This is what stress feels like. And this is what help feels like. If you've lost a job, worry about your next meal, or have trouble making it through the day, we can help. Text STRESS to 211-211 to find a solution.
Welcome back, everyone. We know public safety has always been a top priority for Ward 6. The city recently opened a new substation. Now, it's not in Ward 6, but it's still a matter of public safety because they do so much to protect the citizens really across the whole area. So, Councilwoman, we're excited to have with us our Deputy Assistant Chief, Robert Straube from the Department of Public Safety, and Lieutenant Timothy Mullins, also from the Public Safety Department. And you guys have made a lot of inroads recently to kind of ramp up the safety of not just in the tourist corridor, but really across the city. Talk a little bit about that, Rob.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having us. We always love to come and share what the great things we're doing with Department of Public Safety. So as you mentioned, our substation, it's been a pride and joy for us to partnership with Metro and those partnerships we have down there to really augment the efforts we're doing down at Fremont. As we know, it's a super busy corridor, and the council priority, public safety, this helps those efforts. So we've been open for a while now. We've had really good partnerships down there. We've seen our efforts starting to really pay off, and that tourists are feeling safer. People are really enjoying coming down, working in partnership. It's not only Metro, but it's also Fremont Security and the other casino owners down there. So we've really done a good job of building those partnerships. It's a long time overdue, and we're just really excited about the efforts we're seeing. We're getting great feedback from our efforts down there.
That's great. That's great to hear. Lieutenant Mullins, also talk a little bit about, we have different teams that you deploy around the downtown area dealing with not just the tourist area, but homelessness and other issues. So talk a little bit about the different teams that DPS has deployed in that area.
Yes, we do. Well, all of the officers are trained to deal or to assist, offer resources to our homeless citizens that are there in the downtown area. We have a specialized unit that's our POP team, problem-oriented policing. So that unit they are specialists, and they are geared towards making contact with businesses and also citizens and trying to offer one by one these citizens those resources that over there at HRC preferably, but there's also other resources that are out there that we're also looking to tap into. So it's going to be from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and Clark County Social Services, of course through our Muni court system. There are diversion programs that are available to them, and those are other things they're going to be working towards. But yes, they've been very successful. They've been in operation for about 4 months now, and we're looking at expanding it because it's been such a success.
Mm-hmm. So you have the POP team, you have the conditions team, and the MORE team. Tell us a little bit about what's the difference on each of those, Rob. How do those teams break down?
Sure. So our conditions team, every team has a specific focus, right? And so our problem-oriented policing team, they're specifically going to be boots on the ground in the Fremont area. And again, like Lieutenant Mullins said, it's really about connecting with people with those resources. Right. You cannot arrest your way out of these societal issues. So that's really been our focus, and they've done such a great job of connecting. But it's not just them. Our patrol, as Lieutenant Mullins said, and Metro, everybody, all of our city departments have such a big piece in this and making this work. So it's not just one specific team, especially on Fremont. It takes a village, and all the owners down there, that we listen to, we meet with regularly to see the concerns and whatnot. So we've really been proud of our efforts with that. So our POP team, like I said, they're going to focus basically on the Fremont area. Our conditions team, they're going to be valley-wide. They're going to go through all the wards. They're going to go through the Fremont area. And again, just like the POP team, their focus is going to be not only if needed, there's an enforcement piece to it with all of our teams, but there's also the main focus is connect those resources, officer services. The MORE team is just another piece of that service that we provide that will go around and hit some of those areas that may be a little more difficult to get to, a little more focused areas other than patrol, that working in partnership with our city partners to, again, provide resources, get these people, to our wonderful HRC and get those resources, especially with the summer months coming. We're really making an effort because the heat, as we know, plays a part in this, and we want to make sure people have what they need and those resources they need to get back on their feet or whatever they may need.
HRC is a homeless resource center. It's a city facility right in the heart of downtown near Four Master and Las Vegas Boulevard, in Maine. Lieutenant Mullins, let me ask you this too. As far as your efforts across the city, go into a little bit about how you guys coordinate with Metro. Sometimes people aren't quite sure, well, what is the Department of Public Safety? How do they fit with Metro? What's your responsibility versus theirs versus maybe one of the other police forces here in the Valley? Explain that a little bit to the viewers.
Okay, so the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is more calls for service driven. They're the 911 response agency out here. That's they do encompass city and county. Whereas the marshals, our segment, we are, as I said, with the POP team, more specialists. So we have the opportunity to be more proactive with our patrolling down there in Fremont Street and in the various wards with our condition team, with our MORE team. So where we are different is we are not responding to the 911 calls. Not that we will not jump into action if we're asked for that assistance or we become alerted to it, but that's not our primary responsibility. That's not our function.
Keeping track, obviously, of city facilities, and then the tourist corridor along Fremont are going to be a lot of city facilities, though, Rob. I mean, there are a lot of ground to cover. The parks, all the city buildings, community centers, et cetera, across the
any city leased owned.
Yeah,
that's our responsibility. So our teams do a great job. You know, council action request, different things that come up. I mean, that's our specialty. Like Lieutenant Mullins said, when our officers go on duty, they don't have a screen full of 911 calls necessarily they have to go to. We do obviously get calls for service, but a lot of times that enables our officers to be proactive, to go into our parks, to get foot patrols done, and not only in our parks and our tourist corridor, and really see what's going on. And like Lieutenant Mullins said, we really pride ourselves in the relationship we've built with the other entities, specifically Metro. Lieutenant Mullins, with his leadership over the Fremont area, has done a really good job working with Metro to coincide our teams, because we're all chasing the same thing, to have a safer area for our tourists and people visiting our parks and city properties.
Councilwoman, I know their boss, Chief Jason Potts, is very proud of the efforts and really talked about a reduction in crime that you've already been able to see, reduction in violence, fights, all kinds of things because of your presence there. Talk a little bit about that, Tim.
Yes, from speaking with Captain Seeley, Chief Potts speaking with Captain Seeley, that's the new downtown area command captain for Metro. He advised him that violent crime is down. We're talking robberies, we're talking homicides, talking sexual assault. So straight across the board, violent crimes are down, which is, we owe that in large part to our collaboration. Metro's doing a terrific job on their own. They're getting very creative with their resources. They, effective May 25th, they reallocated 2 squads to work 7 days a week down there in the Fremont Street area, along with their flex team. So flex team, they are broad-based, well-encompassed, and they're working even outside of the boundaries of specific Fremont Street. They're over there in the feed and in the general perimeter over there as well. So the presence that you will see down there in Fremont Street is exponentially more significant than what you saw before, and it's having a dramatic impact. I spoke with the Vice President of Circa, or Operations, John Fiato, last week, and he called me up personally to say that in their executive board meeting that they have seen a dramatic decrease in homeless presence and crime down there altogether, and they were very excited with the direction things are going present into the future. So that's more in line with Assistant Chief and Chief Potts's their statement, their vision to make Fremont Street the safest tourist destination in the world.
And I want to add too, right? We talk a lot about Fremont too, but we can't forget about our wards too.
Yeah.
And one of the things with Councilman Brune's ward, you know, we've done a lot of traffic enforcement.
Yes, I keep you guys very busy.
Yeah, so we were able to, and again, that takes a partnership. So we partnered with a lot of different jurisdictions, Metro and whatnot, to make that happen. And we've actually seen year to date in Ward 6, those areas, a 70% decrease in arrests and citations, whatnot. So we're really spread out, but you know, it's not only Fremont. We have wards to take care of as well, and other city properties. So we're really making an effort to make sure we're listening to our citizens and where they feel, you know, some work can be done and answer those calls.
Yeah. Rob, go into that a little bit. What are typically some of the calls that you work on? It's going to be stuff in parks that's been going on, maybe problems around some of the community centers. Talk a little bit about kind of what's a typical day for the marshals that are out in the wards.
Yeah, and as you know, David, from shift to shift, it kind of differs, right? So on our day shift, they're going to be a little more assigned units, specifically to certain areas. But every shift is going to have your calls for service. We expect our officers all through the shifts to constantly, in their sectors, patrol those areas, looking for things that may seem out of the ordinary and that they should go take a further look. We expect them to get out of their vehicles, walk those parks, walk those city facilities, get to know people, say hi, how's it going? And half the time, that's just the battle, just making those contacts so people know who they can call and actually provide them a quick service. So to your point, it's such a gamut and variety of calls throughout the day that they are handling. A lot of times we may assist a Metro in a high priority call. We had a few this weekend.
Yeah, sure did.
Or it could be backing up our animal protection services with something where they're dealing with an angry customer involving animals. So they do such a gamut thing. They may be at City Hall. The different teams we talked about, we have a lot of assignments there. But day in, day out, they're being proactive. They're going through our jurisdiction, our city properties and city areas, and really looking for how they can make a difference. And a lot of times we encourage them to make a positive difference. It's not always about arresting. It's providing just education. We have children's parks. Sometimes you might find an adult in there just doesn't know the rules, miss the sign out front. So it's to educate them on what that is.
I think too, Rob and Tim, the other thing too is just the presence of the marshals. I think just the fact on Fremont, one of the reasons that you see the uniforms out there, you see that presence, you see it in the parks. And I think that just adds that level of safety. It's like people know we're going to be safe here because we've got people looking after us. Rob, I think we also got some exciting news out in Ward 6. Now, Councilwoman, this is more of a Metro thing. But speaking of substations, there's talk now of bringing a Metro substation out in your ward.
Yep. So we finalized the plan for that this July, and then we'll be breaking ground next July, and that Metro substation will be at Grand Teton and Wallapai. So we're excited about that.
Now, will that be part of the Northwest Area Command, or is it going to be a separate?
It'll be substation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so, Rob, will you guys work with Metro out there? Will there be some, just like down on Fremont Street, will be?
Sure. So all of our lieutenants have an assigned ward, specific ward. So for Councilwoman Brune or any of the other council person, we have a lieutenant that's assigned. So they're always working with the captains at those substations and those wards, going to attending meetings, attending the different functions that you'll have, like Tuesday nights and things like that. So we always want to make sure our staff is there. So yes, it's definitely a partnership. And again, we talked earlier about joint operations. So we will always, with Metro, do maybe like a joint operation or something like that if there's a concern in that area. So to answer your question, yes, it will be theirs, almost like the substation, but we always look for those opportunities for partnership.
Yeah. Well, it's been very successful on Fremont, obviously. So looking for more of the same there. So,
well, the other thing too, Lieutenant Mullins, if you'll talk a little bit about the Citizens Police Academy that you guys are really ramping up. I know a couple of my Ward 6 residents graduated on the first go round, and they were really excited about all the great information that was shared out. So it's a great opportunity, another great opportunity for residents to get involved and learn more about public safety and what you do, but also their own community.
Yes, absolutely. So the first CPA, or we call it CPA, Citizens Police Academy, was a resounding success. We had incredible feedback with that. So much so we're looking at having a second one.
That's great.
At tentative date, August 28th. We're working through some details. There's a lot of things that go with that, but I'm expecting there in about August 28th. In the last one, we had 38 that actually graduated, so it's fantastic. And we've already had 4 of them that are now city employees. So
That's
huge
great.
benefit there, but like you just said, Councilwoman, with volunteer service program, that's something that we're working on as well with the executive staff. I think that's going to be a huge positive. Not just that, they are really good for publicity for us and highlighting all the great stuff that we're doing out there, our agency in collaboration.
Someone's interested, what should they do?
Somebody's interested, we're going to be marketing that out there. We're going to be putting emails, contact numbers. There's more to come, specifically in the next couple of weeks.
So we will have something to do with
that. Yes, you will.
We'll help get the word.
Can you share for the residents just the structure of the program? Is it once a week for a period of 8 weeks, or what is it? What's the time commitment, I guess?
It's 12 weeks. It's a 12-week-long program. It's going to be, the hours are from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. They are there's graduation, of course. That's going to be the 12th week. During that period, the attendees have an opportunity to go through various trainings, and they'll have introductions to animal protection, to corrections, to our marshals, be able to do ride-alongs with them. And we'll have some defensive tactics training and some other assortment of things that we actually do out there on the daily.
Hopefully they'll get to meet Scarlett.
That's definitely going to be a part of it. Yep,
Highlight,
Scarlett
sure.
is, yes, and she's certainly our mascot and beyond.
Star of the show.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Rob Straube, Timothy Mullins, thank you so much for being here. Best of luck. Be safe out there. Thanks for keeping us safe as well. So, and folks, we need to take another short break, but still to come, events you don't want to miss in Ward 6 right after this.
Hey dude, I know the wait for a ride tonight is ridiculous. In a cab, it would be super expensive.
It would totally suck to have to come back to get your car.
But man, you know what else would suck? You getting you killed, driving home wasted.
If you won't listen to anyone else, at least listen to you. Save yourself. Always drive sober. Paid for by the Nevada Departments of Public Safety and Transportation.
Papa!
Welcome back, everyone. Some great events coming up in Ward 6 we want to tell you about. Councilwoman, good stuff here. The first one is your community business meeting on June 22nd,
Yep.
9 to 11 out at Centennial Hills Y there at 6601 North Buffalo. What's going to happen here exactly?
Well, so as you know, David, we do a monthly Bocaditos with Brune, but we do it during the week on a Thursday morning from 9 to 11. And so we know that a lot of people who may want to come and share their concerns or, you know, talk to city staff with their questions have to work. And so we wanted to start doing Saturday gatherings just to give people a chance.
That's great.
Yeah. So
good for you,
we'll do
too.
that, yes.
Making yourself available like that. So it'll be Saturday, June 22nd, I guess 9 to 11 again, Centennial Hills Y there on North Buffalo. And this is going to be great, too. Blast off in the basin.
Yes.
This is going to be a big 4th of July extravaganza.
Yes, yes. So Councilman Alan Polensky and I have been partnering on our 4th of July celebrations. And so last year was in Ward 6.
Yes.
And this year we're moving it to Ward 4. And then next year it'll be back in Ward
and forth.
6.
Very nice, very nice.
But it was a great time last year.
Great fireworks display.
Great, yeah. Synchronized to music.
Yes,
tons
yes.
of kids, lots of dancing. So we'll be doing the same thing.
I love it because it's an alternative to people shooting them off illegally in their neighborhoods or, you know, into their neighbors' backyards and into their palm trees and everything else. So come out, enjoy this wonderful show. It's going to be the 4th of July, of course, 7 o'clock, Buckskin Basin Park. That's at 7350 Buckskin Avenue. As Councilwoman said, that's in Ward 4. But it'll be back in Ward 6 next year. So it was really a wonderful,
it was a great,
it was really a wonderful show. So take advantage of that and don't fire off the illegal ones. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Or marshals will have to go out.
Exactly, and they will too.
Yes.
So. Well, Councilwoman, I want to tell everybody out there, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Brune, you can find her at 702-229-6405, or you can email her at nbrune@lasvegasnevada.gov. You can also visit our Ward 6 website or subscribe to the Councilwoman's newsletter just by going to that QR code right there if you'd like to do that. Well, Councilwoman, great job today. Good guess. Good
Really
show.
fun guest. Yeah, great show. Thank you for allowing us to bring
of course.
a pooch onto the show.
It was a first, so you've made history today. So.
But it won't be the last time.
Hey, right, sounds good. We'll maybe get Wilbur in here too, the other one. So, well, Councilwoman, great job. We'll see you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 6. In the meantime, everybody, we want to thank you for joining us. You can reach or watch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. And you can watch for our QR code in the closing credits of this show to subscribe to that newsletter I mentioned. Also, don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.